Hello, my most amazing artists. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving break. Last week, we took a break from our alphabet soup project and we focused on being aware of our emotions after reading the book called Exactly You. So I thought it would be a great way for us to kind of reset. And this week, we are ready to jump right back into our alphabet soup project. Okay? But before we get started on that, let's please say our class mantra all together on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. My mantra: I am positive, I am creative, I am mindful, I am amazing, I am an artist. All right, guys, you are so ready, so let's go ahead and get started and learn what we are going to create today. All right, so the last thing that we did was we added this pattern to our tablecloth background, right? So we use lines and colors to create this beautiful pattern. Mine kind of looks like a flannel pattern. Yours might be different, but I use lines, so I did 2 skinny lines, and I did a space, 2 skinny lines, space, 2 skinny lines, space. And for my horizontal lines, the lines that go all the way across my paper, I did a thicker green line. And I used Christmas colors because, well, now that Thanksgiving is over, I am in the Christmas spirit. I don't know about you, but I am excited for Christmas, okay? So today we have to color in the rest of our tablecloth, right? Because this is just a pattern. And we want our background to be as interesting as possible. We don't want it to just stay white like this, okay? So I am going to be using tempera cakes, which look like this. They're just hard, we call them cakes in the art world, but they're just like hard blocks of paint that you have to add water to. So they're kind of like a watercolor. So if you don't have tempera cakes, then of course you can use a watercolor palette like this, or if you don't have any paint at all, then you can just use markers, maybe crayons or colored pencils. Use whatever you have, artists, okay? But like I said, today I am going to use tempera cakes, okay? And for my face-to-face artists, I'm going to quickly go over the colors that you can choose from, so you can go ahead and start thinking about what color you want to use whenever I pass out your materials today, okay? So you have a choice of pink. Also, don't tell me what color you want yet. Only tell me when I ask you, okay? So just think in your brain right now what color you may want. All right, so I have pink. I got red, orange, yellow. I have a light green, a darker green. I have a blue teal color, and I have violet, okay? So just think in your head what color you may want to use. And by the way, we're just going to be using one color today, okay? So just choose one color for your background, okay? Because we already have 2 colors back here. You might have 3, maybe you have 4. We don't want to make our tablecloth too crazy, okay, with so many colors. So just choose one color to paint it or color it today, all right? If you are painting, you will need a paintbrush and a little cup of water that just spilled onto my bowl here, but that's okay. I'm just gonna let it dry. Totally fine. Art is a little bit messy sometimes, so I'm just gonna roll with it, okay? So I'm gonna choose my color, and since I'm going with Christmas, I think I'm gonna choose a light green. With this tempera cake, it's very interesting because, like I said before, this is very dry paint. Like, it is so dry, it's making my finger dry just touching it. So we have to add water to it to get it to work, okay? And this is a water cup. We need to be extra careful when opening up this water cup so we don't spill it all over our paper like Miss McWhort did right here, but that's okay. All right, that was an accident. So we need to be very careful. On these cups, there's a little tiny tab for you to press up with your thumb. I'm using my thumb, and I'm holding the cup in one hand, making sure it's very secure. Carefully opening it using that little tab, okay? Just like that. And I want to make sure I keep my water somewhere on my table to where it's not going to fall off the edge of my table, okay? So make sure you find a safe spot for your water. All right, I think that's pretty good. So to get our paint started, I'm going to take my paintbrush, just like this, and I'm just going to get some water. All right, there's no paint on this paintbrush yet because it's just so dry right now. We have to add water. It is so thirsty. I feel like this paint hasn't had any water in years. It's so dehydrated. So we got to keep adding paint to it, okay? And if you notice, I am swirling our ballerina paintbrush all around in circular motions, okay? And actually, it's still too dry for me to paint with, so I'm just going to get more water and swirl it around All right, you don't need to do this quickly or anything. Remember, we need to take care of our beautiful ballerina paintbrushes so that we can paint again, okay? If we don't take care of them, then our paintbrushes will get ruined. And guys, paintbrushes are a little bit expensive, so we won't be able to paint anymore if we don't take care of them, okay? So when I say our paintbrush is like a ballerina, I mean she should always stay on her tippy toes. Notice how I am not squishing my paintbrush in the paint. I am just gently, carefully grabbing water, trying not to get it onto my painting. And I'm just putting water into this temperate cake, okay? And I am swirling the color around. The more you swirl and the little bit more water that you add, the better your paint will turn out, okay? So I'm just carefully on the tippy toes of my paintbrush, swirling it around. And I see some paint on my paintbrush, and there's a little puddle of water. You see that? A little puddle of water. That's how you know your paint is ready, okay? You should not just dump your water in here, okay? You notice how I carefully added it with my paintbrush a little at a time, because we don't want to drown our paint in the water, all right? Then it won't show up that well, okay? We just need to add enough water to get our paint started. And I think this is ready, okay? So like I said, as I'm painting, I'm going to make sure my paintbrush stays on her tippy toes and she does not get squished on the paper, okay? If you notice your painting starting to look a little dry, what do you think you could do? If it's looking a little dry, like this puddle's almost gone, so what should I do? Right, I should get some more water, okay? You're gonna have to keep adding water while you're painting this because this paint likes to dry out very quickly, okay? So I'm just gonna add more water, and then I can carefully, taking extra care of my paintbrush, painting my tablecloth, okay? Just like this, very soft, easy strokes, okay? Now I'm getting close to my bowl here, and if you remember when we added our pattern, we skipped over our bowl, okay? That is what we're going to do here. So we're going to try our very best to just color or paint around our bowl. Try your best not to get any paint or color inside of your bowl. As you can see, Miss McGort accidentally got some drips in her bowl, but guys, mistakes happen, and that's okay, okay? We're only humans, and honestly, sometimes mistakes make your artwork even more unique, okay? We do not want our art to look the same as anyone else's, right? Because you're a different person than the person sitting next to you. So we need to make our artwork unique. And sometimes little mistakes like that can be beautiful. All right. So don't worry too much if you make a mistake. All right. Notice I'm going all the way to the edge of my paper and I'm not leaving any white spaces, right? No white spaces should be seen after you're done painting today. Does anyone remember what kind of painting this is called? When you paint on top of oil pastels, do you remember? If you said resist painting, then you are correct, my friends, because remember, when you draw with the oil pastel and then you paint on top of it with water, water and oils don't mix. So the oil pastel pushes that paint away and it helps it stand out even more. I love doing resist paintings. They're so much fun to do. All right, and also remember, we don't want to press down on our paintbrush too hard because then that oil pastel light start to smear around, and we worked really hard to try to get our pattern as neat as possible. We do not want to smush our oil pastel around, okay? And I just carefully, as best as I could, took my time around my bowl to try not to get any paint inside the bowl, okay? And I've gone to every single edge. I'm just gonna double check every little bit of my painting, and I noticed I missed a little bit right here, so I'm just going to go back in, make sure there's no white showing, okay? All right, when you're done with your paint, you can just set it down on your messy mat, set your paintbrush down on your messy mat. Once you're done painting, you can go ahead and close up your water just so that it is secure and it will not spill if it does accidentally fall off your table, okay? So this is all we're doing this week, guys. You just need to paint or color the background, our tablecloth background. And then next week, we get to collage our alphabet soup onto our bowl, and I'm so excited for that part. Make sure you leave this beautiful resist painting to dry somewhere and then tuck it away safe so you don't lose it because we will need it again, all right? I hope you guys have lots of fun painting or coloring your tablecloth, and I can't wait to see them. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.